What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Yoka Duck coming to you from New Orleans, NOLA, the NO, the Crescent City. Yeah, that big easy baby. And today I got some content for you. But before we get into all that, make sure you smash that like button. I'm talking about absolutely assault that thing. Hit subscribe and hit on that bell notification so you'll be aware of every last video I'm putting out. And do me a favor and engage in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this subject that we're about to touch on. And yes, finally, we get the Clipse album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. Very highly anticipated. Absolutely highly anticipated. When it dropped, a couple months ago when it was announced, I immediately put this album in a queue, waiting for this day. And I would have to say that it delivered. In my opinion, it delivered. I do I do not think that it was a flawless album, but it had the potential to be a flawless album. But we're going to get into that. First of all, Malice most definitely is going down as the MVP of this album. Malice did not disappoint. Malice absolutely delivered on this album, and he was sorely missed. He was sorely missed. To me, to be honest, Malice has always been the superior MC when it came to the Clipse. Yes. Malice, when the Clipse first started off, Malice was, in my opinion, the superior MC to his younger brother Pusha. Pusha T just so happened to stay in it when Malice decided that he was going to take his hiatus to pursue his spirituality, go down the route of becoming closer to God. And I will not knock that as a man of God myself. Kudos to you, Malice. But Malice always brought balance to the Clipse. And ever since his hiatus and now his return, that balance is all the more evident. And I think that in this album, Malice also made Pusha a little bit more balanced in his approach as well. So let's get into it. It's going to probably be a short review. I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible. This is my initial thoughts. After sitting with this album, initially I was in a Discord watch party. Shout out to the mayor, shout out to Gotham. I was in the Discord in a listening party, and we all pretty much came to the same conclusion that this album was just fire. I'm talking about hot fire, with some exceptions. And we're going to get into those exceptions. But first of all, it opens up. It opens up with the song "The Birds Don't Sing," featuring John Legend, Voices of Fire. John Legend delivers as only John Legend can. I am not the biggest fan of John Legend vocally. To me, he's not like the best singer in the world. But John Legend delivers the way in which only John Legend can deliver, giving you that soulful sound. And in this track in particular was tribute to the Clipse's parents. Malice's verse, Pusha's verse was about his mom, and Malice's verse was about their dad. They both delivered flawlessly, giving us some insight into their feelings, some introspection. And I can't say there was anything wrong with this track. So we're off to a absolute great start. Next up, we come to Whips and Chains featuring Kendrick Lamar. And this was another one of those highly anticipated drops. People were like clamoring for this one, thinking that Kendrick was going to throw shots at Drake. And it can be perceived that way, that he did send some shots at Drake, but this is how MCs operate. You know what I'm saying? Where they say certain things that can mean that they're talking about this one particular person, or they're not talking about anything at all. It's just a general statement in which they came out with that they decided to write. So it can be perceived that some of these things can be perceived as shots, but not necessarily. Throughout this album, it became evident to me that Malice was on a different type of time. Malice, like I don't know if I already said this or it was just I thought it and didn't say it, but if I did say it, forgive me. Malice, MVP of this album. Absolutely. He crushed every single verse. Malice had the best verse on this record. And Malice had the best verse throughout this album. But on this particular, I know all the hype was behind Kendrick, but the Malice verse was slept on. This this one may be the actual best verse of the whole album. Hold on. It's either this one or on POV, which is the third track. So off top, track 1, dope. Track 2, dope. Everybody's already heard this one. This one wasn't like a leak. This one was put out, before like a 2 weeks ago. They dropped a little snippet of this one so we knew what we were going to expect from Kendrick. I don't think they put the whole verse from Kendrick. Malice verse was extremely slept on. I'm sorry. I don't know if people are gonna have their assessment. I know everybody's gonna be thinking about what Kendrick did, but don't sleep on what Pusha did. What Malice did. Pusha, he always delivers. It's hard to distinguish between Pusha and Malice to people who aren't as familiar with the Clipse. Me, I've been a day one Clipse fan. Day one. I'm talking about since Grinding. When Grinding came out, I was in high school at the time. Grinding may have been one of the first beats I ever even freestyle over. Beating on the desk in high school. That's how far back this goes. This is nostalgia. Grinding may be like my third favorite Clip song. I think my favorite Clip song of all times is Keys Open Doors. I love that song. So that brings us to number 3. I'm gonna get on. I'm trying to make this short, but if I go on a tangent, please forgive me. If I go out on a tangent, please forgive me. Next up, we got POV featuring Tyler the Creator, Clipse and Tyler the Creator. Tyler the Creator delivers as usual, but once again, the standout is gonna go to Malice, and then a beat switch was. I'm talking about Justified. Malice is in between Whips and Chains and POV being the best verses throughout the album. I'm leaning more towards POV being the best verse in the album. I want when I came into this album, I was expecting greatness. It it did not fall short from greatness. This is probably going to be the best album in 2025, to be honest with you. That brings us to So Be It. So Be It is one of those other albums that was previous. That was another album that was another song that was already released. But this time when they released it, they gave us a darker instrumental versus the Arabic or Punjabi sample that they released previously. A lot of people are not gonna like this version of So Be It that released. It's the So Be It Part 2. Now, this is the So Be It, I think. Yes. So on Apple, I think what happened is, and I could be wrong, but I think what happened is they put out So Be It Part 2. They put out So Be It Part 2, and then they had to wait on sample clearance to put out the original So Be It with the this Arabic sample or Punjabi sample, whichever one. I don't know the difference. Um the So Be It Part 2 that released with the more uh darker instrumental was good. I liked it. I do prefer the So Be It with the sample in it, but that doesn't take away from So Be It Part 2 with the darker tones. Both are good to me. I prefer the original, but I can see that a lot of like the Gen Zers, the Gen Alphas, they're not gonna resonate with the So Be It Part 2 with the more darker focused instrumental. And hey, it's art is all subjective, so it is what it is. But both versions, dope. I'm not gonna take anything from it. Brings us to Ace Trumpets, which is um the other song that was released. This was Ace Trumpets was actually the first song that was released, and was the start of the rollout was Ace Trumpets. And before I continue, the Clipse rollout, I'm talking about almost second to none. I don't think I've ever witnessed a better hip hop rollout than this one. These guys are putting out tracks, putting out snippets, doing interviews. They just dropped the Tiny Desk Challenge, the Tiny Desk concert. Dude, this rollout is ridiculous. And there're gonna be a lot of people who will maybe not mimic this, but there are gonna be a lot of people who are gonna put more effort into their rollouts. Cause see, a lot of rappers seem to rest on their laurels. They think they're bigger than a program, and they don't. They're giving us lackluster rollouts, if a rollout at all. And two, when we see them in concert, we're getting lackluster performances. The Clips are telling you y'all need to step y'all game up. Ace Trumpets, I mean, come on now. Everybody enjoyed Ace Trumpets. Dope song. The sample on Ace Trumpets is, was it a sample? I gotta listen to it. No, it wasn't a sample. At least I don't think it was. But the instrumental, the production throughout the album was amazing. Instrumental, amazing on this one. It gave you, I'm gonna tell you what this gave me. The entire album gave me opulence, prestige. The album, for those who don't know, most do, the album was recorded at the Louis Vuitton headquarters in Paris, France. The entire album was recorded there. Might I say the entire album was curated there at the Louis Vuitton headquarters in Paris, France. This was a curated album. Pharrell, production wise, did his thing on it. Production wise. And it's quite evident that this album wouldn't have been nearly as cohesive had he not had so much involvement in this album. You can tell that this album wasn't just a collaborative effort between Pusha and Malice. This was a collaborative effort between Pusha, Malice, and Pharrell. And Pharrell probably had a very heavy-handed influence on this album. So that brings us to All Things Considered. And I'm sorry. Like I just said, Pharrell, as far as the curation of this album, did an amazing job, but he fell short vocally throughout the album to me. I did not. This is a skip for me. This is a skip for me. So we're batting 5 for 6 so far. All things considered was a skip for me. I did not like the chorus that Pharrell gave this song. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not the biggest fan of Pharrell's falsetto. It works well in kids movies, it does not work well on these hip hop tracks on this in this Clipse album. It did not work well to me. Somebody tell Pharrell stop doing this. Pharrell, you are dopest. What if if not my person I would consider the GOAT in production wise. So to me, as far as production, you got Quincy Jones that may be like number one, Dr. Dre number two, and it's gonna flip. And I'm gonna put the Clips. I'm gonna put NERD. I'm gonna put Neptunes and Pharrell. Pharrell mostly because Chad he's on hiatus. He don't want to do music no more. So I'm gonna put Pharrell above Timbaland because he's been moving funny lately. I love both, but Tim, you got to be subjected to number four because you've been moving real funny lately. So Pharrell is like in my top three production wise, but vocally, I did not like what you contributed to this album. I did not like it. Which brings us to number seven, Mike Tyson punch to the face, which is a double entendre. Punch to the face, you know, meaning these substances that we about to distribute to you is going to be like a Mike Tyson punch to the face, you know what I'm saying, or just a physical punch to the face if you cross me. That's what this double entendre is giving. I love this. I love this track. It's not my favorite track. A lot of people I'm seeing have this as their number one track on the album. It won't be mine. I think mine is FICO, which we're gonna get to. I think that's my favorite. Mike Tyson punch to the face. I can see why a lot of people are loving this one. Um, I like this in a lot. I love this one a lot. It was given mixtape. You know what I'm saying? Era. It was knocking. I get it. I'm not mad at anybody who has this at their number one. Which brings us to I don't even remember what this one is. The other Pharrell track, EBITDA. Pharrell kind of redeemed himself on this one with his verse. We got a little bit of skateboard P on it. I didn't really need it. But this is not one that is going to get skipped. It's giving you NERD vibes straight off top. I love the NERD albums. I love Sing Sounds. That's the vibe it was giving me. I'm not gonna knock it. I'm not gonna skip over it. Is it my favorite? No, but it rocks. It rocks out. We're not skipping this one. So far we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 7 out of 8 that I think is just dope. They just dope. FICO is my number one though. FICO, FICO, I think Malice did his thing on this. This is my favorite Malice verse on there. Um, Stove God Cooks, he did his thing on the hook. I mean, they're so close. You know what I'm saying? They're so close when it comes to Malice and Pusha. Like to the layman, to the person who aren't as familiar with Malice and Pusha, with the Clipse in general, I can see why, excuse me, I can see why a lot of people would have a hard time distinguishing between the two. Malice, Malice is like a half pitch, a half a key to a whole key higher in pitch and slightly more nasally than Pusha. Both have very descriptive ways of describing opulence, describing luxury goods, describing creative ways to describe moving weight, creative ways to describe um white powder substances and other illicit substances. They both have this creative way of doing so. It's just that Malice's way of doing so is slightly more colorful than Pusha's. Slightly. it's a slightly more vivid coloration. It's a slightly more vivid description than Pusha's. Um, like I said, when the clips first came out, I would put Malice here and Pusha here. Now it's a whole lot more even, with Malice getting the edge for vividness of the lines. They both pretty much deliver the lines pretty much the same. They both pretty much rap the same, except that Malice is slightly more colorful in his descriptions. And not only is he slightly more colorful in his descriptions of certain things, but he gives more descriptions. He will pile descriptions on. He will put descriptions on back to back more than Pusha. Pusha may give you one or two per bar, mostly one per bar, or two every four, one every other bar, so two per 4 bars. Malice at times will give you a description every bar, a different description of something every bar. Malice, MVP of this album. I ain't, and I think a lot of people are gonna agree with me. Malice murdered this album. Like on Whips and Chains, not Whips and Chains, on POV, the beat switch was justified. He needed that beat switch. He needed that off top. Cause the way in which he killed that track was ridiculous. So let's go to Inglorious Bastard. So let's keep count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right now we had 9 out of 10 songs that I think is just dope. 9 out of 10. Brings us to Inglorious Bastards, which I can't necessarily remember at the time. Now I know you can't hear what I'm hearing. Inglorious Bastards is another one of those bangers. Straight up. Everybody delivered on this one. It's giving you that DJ drama, that DJ Clue, that mixtape era vibe. How can you not like this? The instrumentation, the production on it, simple yet effective. I loved everything about this particular song. Nothing really stood out. It was just a dope song in general. That's why I couldn't even remember, but it was a dope song in general. So far ahead, a lot of people, myself included, aren't necessarily going to love this song. This one like I said, when it came to all things considered, Pharrell's falsetto is just not meant for an album such as this. It's not meant for that. It works well in kids' movies. It does not translate well to rap albums. But this one did grow on me. Am I the biggest fan of this? No, but it did grow on me. I'm not going to hate on this one. At one point when I first heard this, I was going to give it a 0.5. I still may stick to that 0.5. Uh, I'm still may stick to that half a point. I'm just not a fan. I think if someone else would have sang this and maybe even in the same key, but was better at singing in falsetto, it might have translated better. Or if it was pitched down, to a more natural voice, it might have been better. But it did grow on me. And when you listen to this particular song on vinyl, I think it's gonna sound way better with the crackling sound of the vinyl. I think it's gonna sound a whole lot better. It's gonna translate way better. But it's not my favorite. So I'm just giving this one a half a point. Thumbs up to Let God Sort 'Em Out, the title track featuring Nas. I mean, oh my gosh, dude. Everybody showed their ass on this one, Nas included. We get a beat switch for Nas. Justified. How can you not give one of the GOATs a beat switch? How, uh, how can you not? You know what I'm saying? So let's just go listen to it. Nas murders it. Malice murders it. Pusha T murders it. That's all I can say about that one. By the grace of God, the final track, a lot of people's not going to be fans of this, and I think it's strictly because of Pharrell. Is the beats not my favorite on the album? I'm not gonna say I probably will skip it, but it's not a bad song. I'm giving it a full point, but it's not a bad song. I think I think it would have been justified to put someone else on the chorus, if I'm not mistaken. It's the Pharrell falsetto that's just doesn't do it for me. It just ah, it's hard to get over that it doesn't translate well. So that's out of 13 tracks. I gave it 11. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5. I gave it 11.5 out of 13. Well, if you divide 11.5 by 13, I'm giving this album a 8.8. So damn near 9. Not many albums, in my opinion, deserve a 9 or a 10. So for them to even get to 8.8 in my book, they knocked it out the park. You know what I'm saying? A damn near 9 out of 10 for an album in 2025 is crazy. I rank this higher than GNX for sure. I definitely make this rank this higher than GNX. This has way more songs that I'm gonna listen to over GNX. Now GNX, I still have a few songs from GNX in my playlist. This and I didn't even mean to I didn't even mean to compare the two. I shouldn't have even done that. But as of now, this is gonna go down as so far, it's gonna go down as like number one album of 2025 as of now. Now, if I'm not mistaken, on Sunday, 7/13, we're gonna get Travis, you know, they're gonna be dropping. So we all know that Travis is gonna be a contender. So one can only surmise that that's gonna be a dope album. I'm willing to say Jack Boys may put up a fight, but Push is not necessarily. I mean, not Pusha. And the Jack Boys is not necessarily my cup of tea. Travis as an artist is dope. He's just music doesn't translate well to me for me. His music doesn't translate well for me. Um, with a few songs as exceptions. I heard that I can't remember the name of that song, but the song that they recently released on that rollout, um, the song, although sonically it was there was this certain frequency. I wish if somebody knows the name of that song, just let me know. But there was a certain frequency um from that came from the echo in the first chorus into the second verse that kind of like it didn't I was very sensitive to that particular frequency, and it kinda gave me a headache. And I think there might be a lot of that going on in that album if you know Travis's, way of producing and making music, you know. So I'm looking forward to actually listening to it and reviewing it. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be trash because Travis don't put out trash. It's just it might not be what I enjoy. Kind of like with I'm probably gonna give it the I'm gonna give it the same treatment as the Playboy Cardi, which I'm gonna give it a listen. I'm more inclined to listen to Travis than Playboy Cardi. I'm gonna give it a listen, but I know that I'm not his particular audience. But I will be reviewing that one as well. But look, that's all the time I got for you today. Make sure you smash that like button for me. I'm talking about absolutely assault that thing. Subscribe, hit the bell notification, and hit all so you'll be aware of every last video that I'm dropping. And always remember, give maximum effort in all your endeavors. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Peace.